My name is Michael Perdue. What is your good name?
My name is Angela Daniele.
Angela Daniele, I want to thank you very much for taking your time and efforts to to ask me these important questions about my research. I'm actually a practicing economist.
Right.
Not really employed at the moment, but I'm an independent researcher.
Right.
I do research in the economics of religious philosophy,
Right.
which is basically where we look at the philosophy of religion, but we use the tools of economics to analyze the philosophy of religion. And then there's so much more that a person can do, but that's basically the general idea, is we're using the tools of economics to understand the principles of religious philosophy, which, again, I like to stress this, it's very important. The principles of religious philosophy, the ones that I'm looking at, are independent of faith. That means a person could be an atheist, an agnostic. Actually, this is my target audience, atheistic and agnostic individuals. So it's for everybody. Obviously, theistic people persons of a theistic paradigm, entertaining a theistic paradigm would also appreciate, but my target audience are non-theistic and agnostic individuals. So please, I guess you took some time and prepared some questions.
Indeed. Well, you sound like a very intelligent person, number one.
You're very intelligent.
No,
I believe you. She's the most intelligent.
No, come on, let's.
Her husband's very lucky.
And I'm gonna give you a little.
She's the most intelligent.
No, it's all right.
She's humble also. See, what a combination. Wow.
Well, Encyclopedia Britannica gives us a definition of human intelligence, which is mental quality that consists of the abilities to learn from experience, adapt to new situations, understand and handle abstract concepts, and use knowledge to manipulate one's environment. What do you think about this definition?
Well, I'll tell you what I think about it. From the perspective of religious philosophy, on the one hand, I think it's very nice that the world has spent so much time and effort to understand these important terms and concepts, right? And I would just like to add that if you looked at a different definition, you probably get a different book. You probably get a different definition.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you probably scrolled through a lot of definitions, so you found one you liked.
Kind of. I was like looking for the most authoritative, let's say.
So then, when we use the religious philosophy, and specifically when I'm talking religious philosophy, I'm referring to those philosophy that's coming from the Vedas, Vedic philosophy. And even more specifically, that philosophy which is found in the teachings of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Alright? Anybody can look these teachings up. He has written commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's written books, teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So many, Easy Journey to Other Planets. So many books are there. Now, the philosophy of religion has a definition for words that are very important, like envy. You can find it described in the Nectar of Devotion. Very important word, matsarya. Comes from the Sanskrit, right? The Sanskrit. Intelligence is there. Knowledge is defined as well. But you have to understand that, we can get to that later. Intelligence there is defined, and this is the definition I use in my research. The power of analyzing a thing in proper perspective. Right? The power of analyzing a thing in proper perspective. So that's important, because what does proper perspective mean? It means objectively, for one thing. Yeah? But if you want to go a little bit, I don't want to talk all the time. Yeah, I could do that. Oh my gosh, an hour would go by and you'd be... A guy likes to hear himself talking, right?
Okay.
So that's where I would like to start.
The proper perspective. So this concept of perspective for me leads to another question, which is that only humans are intelligent, or because we say that we have a perspective, but maybe we don't think other living beings have a certain perspective on the world. So what's...
well, no, this is a very good question you asked, because it allows me to go further into this definition.
Yes.
What interferes with proper perspective? Right? So what interferes with intelligence? What interferes with proper perspective is a bias. A bias. So like I have a preconceived idea about something. And my preconceived idea is based on attachments. I want it to be a certain way. So much so that I only see it the way I want it to be. So it's a bias. It influences my intelligence. Right? So I may have some intelligence, but my intelligence is undermined by my material attachment. So animals, it's not that they don't have intelligence, right? But is their intelligence undermined by their attachments? Right? Now also, one aspect of knowledge is to know about some situation, something. Like a person can have knowledge how to, climb a coconut tree and pick a coconut. A primate, for example, would have this kind of knowledge, right? But understanding has more to do with this power of discretion. Because further describing this word intelligence is what we use when we perceive an object, a sense object. We have 14 senses, and we have these 14 senses, and we want to engage them in their objects. We want to see a movie. What happens is we see an ad for a movie, and then before it enters into the mind, and we start cultivating a desire or a hatred, we use our intelligence and we ask ourselves, is this a good idea? So the intelligence is there to help the mind in discerning which sense objects it should pursue. Right? One example. So, excuse me. That's really, kind of more... Intelligence is something that when people start taking a look at themselves beyond the senses, the tongue and the belly, looking beyond that, when they start looking at themselves and they think, okay, now, who am I? They see that they have a power of thought. I think, therefore I am. And then if they're thinking, they will see they have intelligence.